How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So a lot of times I'm very detail oriented. It doesn't matter if I'm in Thailand, Vietnam, or I'm out here living van life. So one thing I wanted to, talk about today is that a lot of people obviously cook when they're either doing stealth camping or they're camping or they're just trying to live van life. So one of the things I like to do is I try to make things easier for you guys relative to considering some details. So obviously, if you're going to cook in the van, the staple normally is that when you do a van build, it's either they're going to put an induction cooktop, within a butcher block or however you have your galley set up. A lot of people like to cook with a flame, so they're either going to put propane in the van, which a lot of builders don't like to do, or if you see an overlanding vehicle, normally the propane will be out on the outside. And then a lot of people, if they're going to cook with gas, sometimes like to use butane because you can kind of smell if there's a leak, and then obviously you don't want to, die in your sleep living van life. But one thing I recently came across, I think, to make van life a little bit easier for you and also for myself is, obviously you could go very expensive and install a real stove or an oven or a Bravia, which is a little bit of a high-end, cooker within the car. But what today I want to cook with, and I'll do it right in front of your eyes, is that I'm back on my grass-fed diet and I'm trying to eat a little bit better before I head back to Thailand, is a new product called the Ninja Crispi. So now this is an air fryer, but a little bit of the difference, it's the same technology, but you're cooking within a glass Tupperware type substance as opposed to everything being encased in metal. So we're going to see how it performs today. I already used it once, but I'm going to use it once again, and we'll take a look at the ease of use and also what the finished product is. So stick around. I'm going to break it down the best that I can, and I hope you get something out of it. I'm not a chef. I'm not a culinary specialist. I basically eat like either a college kid or basically putting food in a bowl for a dog. It's normally grass-fed beef of some sort, a little bit of rice, and maybe I'll throw in a vegetable here and there. But that's, for me, the best way where I streamline my physique. Right now I'm 260, around 6 feet, and I'm really trying to hit a goal weight eventually of 220. I think that's where I'll be the most aesthetic and the most healthy. So the way I prep is this beef happens to be frozen. I normally will order from White Oak Pastures. I'm not sponsored, but I feel that they have the best grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And all I basically do is that I cut open the grass-fed beef, I throw it in, and just through past experience, you got to run this air fryer for around 25 minutes. And then the end product should be around medium well. So let's just take a look at me putting it all together. So now that the grass-fed beef, which is pretty much a block of beef that is frozen at this point, is I'm going to put this on max crisp, and I'm actually going to do 20 minutes. Now, the reason why is that normally if the beef is defrosted, it's a 15-minute kind of setup. But due to the fact that, once again, I received the order yesterday, it just happens to be that it's going to take at least 20 minutes. But I want to check it at 20, and I'll cut into it a little bit to see where we're at. So it's on max crisp, 20 minutes. So let's see. So as I wait for this to cook, I think a point of interest is economizing space when you live van life. This is a 144 wheelbase. One person is staying in it. And like I said, at times I'll throw out measurements of the space that you have. But something that's pretty important when it comes to this apparatus or this cooking machine is that what I'll do is I'll pull out a tape measure for you, because remember, storage in a van is, of the utmost importance. So a lot of times, I have a double induction, which in retrospect, I should have bought a single, but sometimes I do make mistakes. and I felt that a single burner for how I cook and how I operate would be the best. So let's measure this out, and let's see what we're looking at. So if I put the tape measure out, we're looking at, I mean, give or take, you have 8 inches in width. When it comes to the height, we're looking at maybe about 9.5, okay, regarding height. So once again, it really does not take up much space in the van, and that, like I said, that's very, very important. So this is going to run off a household plug, you know, AC, DC. You know, I only click it on when I need it, because regarding the drawer was not that bad the last time I used it, because you're only using something for 20 minutes. So like I said, let's see what the finished product looks like. And just as an aside, I'll be quiet for a little bit. And what it is that the sound that this makes, it's less than your highest level of setting on a white noise machine. Okay, so it's very, very quiet. Once again, I'm not sponsored, but I'd like to do a little bit of legwork for you guys. So if you're going to make a purchase, maybe this would speak for you. Now, there's a lot of, it depends on what camp you're in regarding air fryers. You know, there's some data maybe to support that the way this thing cooks. Now, once again, I believe that's metal on metal. There could be some carcinogens in there. So kind of look before you leap regarding the style of cooking, and also the considerations regarding safety using this type of equipment. And regarding safety, as much as I like to cook with a flame, like, you know, you're back in your house or in your condo, is that it could be an issue where, you know, once again, something could go wrong. Remember, these vans move around a lot. Even though sometimes propane tanks are encased in boxes, and let's say you're someone who, you know, is an overlander, you're going off-road, etc. Sometimes a lot of these things move around, even on your roof or whatever it might be. So if you are going to have propane, I don't recommend it, but I would keep it on the outside of your van. But then once again, aesthetically, unless you can kind of punch it through one of these aluminum cargo boxes that they sell, that's an idea if you're really hell bent on cooking in that style. But the induction, believe it or not, I never really used them that often, but they are pretty good. They get pretty hot, pretty quickly. So, it's just something to think about. I don't want anything to happen to you guys. You know, I'm a little bit of a preventer, and, just consider that, that component regarding cooking, in or around your van. We're about to hit the 20-minute mark. We'll open it up again. We'll see if it's cooked thoroughly. Contingent on how you like your meat. So let's see what it looks like. But let's pop this open and let's see what's going on. So now at the 20-minute mark, we cut into it. I kind of feel like it's almost cooked, but let me see. I'm going to say that we are finished regarding this. So let me plate it. I have a little bit, some people might think I waste plates, but if you're ever going to use, I know everyone wants to use, Snow Peak and all this aluminum stuff, and that's great. But sometimes it might make sense when you're cooking ground beef. I do an 80-20 because you need a little fat for an air fryer, is that paper plates, double them on the bottom. And because, once again, I have some expensive and habit design mats, and you don't want to kind of ruin your mat. So let's take this out, and let's see what we got here. So this is our finished product. It's 1 pound of grass-fed, grass-finished beef, plated, and basically this is what the air fryer was able to do. And normally, it's going to come out a little dry when you air fry something. So if you have condiments that you like a little barbecue sauce, a little ketchup, then by all means indulge. So this is what the course looks like. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of it. And just another option when it comes to, a minimalist outlook on what's in your van and how you can possibly cook your meals. if it's either camping or you're living out of your van like me. We'll talk soon and have a great day. It's like sawdust.